been seeing about the hormones we've seen till the adrenal gland, okay. So I think first is we've seen growth hormone, next is your gonadotropins, then next is your ACTH, adrenal cortex medulla, medulla epinephrine, norepinephrine, cortex will produce your glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids. Next we have seen is about your thyroid hormones, T3, T4 and calcitonin. Then your melanin, and the last one is that we've seen some extra hormones there. One is your pineal gland produces melatonin, then your parathormone will produce your parathyroid gland will produce parathormone, which is totally in reversal effect of your um, thyrocalcitonin. Okay, and then we've seen about your pancreas, correct? Now we're going to see about the hormones out of the posterior pituitary. So as I told you, hypothalamus will directly control the posterior pituitary. There aren't any hormones to control. Okay, so actually the hormones released, there are only two hormones released by your posterior pituitary. One is your vasopressin and oxytocin. So these are the two hormones released by your posterior pituitary, or it is called as antidiuretic hormone. Aldosterone maintains a water balance. ADH also is important in maintaining your water balance for water reabsorption. Okay. Now, so these hormones are produced in hypothalamus and released by pituitary. Okay, so it is produced there and it will send the signals to the pituitary, and pituitary will release these two hormones. Okay. Now, what is the function of the vasopressin? I told you, reabsorption of water from tubules in the kidney. Okay, so the nephron tubules, in that tubules the reabsorption of water is mainly because of your ADH. And oxytocin will help in contraction of uterus during childbirth, and oxytocin will also help in ejection of milk. Milk production, prolactin, milk ejection, oxytocin, and also it helps in the contraction of uterus during childbirth. So this is all about your posterior pituitary hormones. Okay. Now what are we going to see is about here types of hormonal regulations. First of all, you have to know about the types of hormones. Okay. There are two types of hormones. One is synergistic hormones. Synergistic means these hormones will complement each other. When one is raising, the other one will also raise. When one is decreasing, the other one will decrease. The next is your antagonistic hormones. I repeat, synergistic hormones is one. Next one is your antagonistic hormones. Synergistic hormones will complement each other. Antagonistic hormone will suppress each other. Okay. For example, we've seen, right, thyrocalcitonin and parathormone. These two are antagonistic. Insulin, glucagon, antagonistic. Somatotropin, somatostatin, antagonistic. So these are the antagonistic hormones. Synergistic hormones, I would say prolactin and progesterone, estrogen and progesterone. So these are the hormones wherein the levels will raise when the other levels will raise. So these are synergistic hormones. Okay. And the last topic is, based on the chemical nature, you have many types of hormones, like your peptides, polypeptides, etc. Then is your steroids, then your thyroid hormones. These are the three types of hormones based upon their chemical nature. Peptide hormones, all your pituitary hormones, okay. Then your all your pituitary hormones are peptide hormones. Then your growth hormone, okay. And then your corticotropin hormones, all these are peptide hormones. Steroid hormones are your sexual hormones. Progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, and these are the steroid hormones. That is, they'll have little amount of steroids, that is a fat derivatives or fat associates with them. And thyroid hormones or iodine hormones is your T3 and T4. It's called as iodotrope. Iodohormones. It's not thyroid, I'm sorry. It's iodotropics. So this is nothing but your T3 and T4. These are the types of hormones. Now, all the hormones will not act in the same way. Okay. First thing is the hormone should influence the cell, correct? So how can they influence? Okay. So first let's see how will the peptide hormones do. Okay. So what happens is that if this is your cell has nucleus, and inside the nucleus you will have your DNA, correct? So what will peptide hormones do is, peptide hormones have no permission to enter your cell. They cannot enter the cell and directly pass in the message. No, they can't do that. So what they'll do is, they'll come to the surface of the cell and they will transfer the information to your secondary messengers. See, if I have no permission to enter your class, what will I do? I'll just call somebody and I'll pass the information. Same thing. That somebody through whom I'm passing the information is your secondary messengers. Okay. Your secondary messengers are cyclic AMP, inosine triphosphate. All these are some of your secondary messengers. Okay. But whereas your steroid hormones, this is your DNA, correct? So steroid hormones will directly enter the DNA and they will make the change. Okay. But peptide hormones, they have no permission to enter the cell. So they will regulate the action through your secondary messages, whereas steroids will directly enter the cell. So these are the two mechanisms through which your cell is regulated. Clear? I mean, hormones will regulate your cell. One is direct stimulation like steroids, the other one is through the secondary messages. Okay, so with this we are done with human physiology.